Well, hello everybody. This is Mark in Cottonwood, and this is going to be part two of bringing an old '63 Corvair back from the dead. And let me make one thing clear: I'm not trying to restore this car. I don't have time or money for that to restore it. But I would like to drive it around with my wife. You know, that's kind of all I really want to do with this thing is just make it go up and down the street and have a little fun with it. You know, let my wife drive it around, you know, that kind of stuff. Just have fun. I don't really want to put a lot of money in it. I'm not going to put a lot of money in it. Let's put it that way. So let's move on to the next step where I actually am going to get in the back of the car in the engine compartment and start doing some stuff to kind of check and see what I've actually got. So stay tuned and we'll just take it one step at a time. You may also like to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Keep these Corvair videos going out to you guys. And as I always like to say, get out there and enjoy your Corvair. This is Mark. Okay, here we are back with the '63 convertible. So, I have taken off the air filters. I pushed the car outside and just got some degreaser on it and hosed everything off. It was, you know, pretty nasty, greasy-wise, just been sitting. So now I can kind of see what I've got here. Obviously, the carbs are going to have to come off. I got the air filter off, took the vent tube out, and now I can kind of see what I got. Took the battery out. So now I can kind of attack this thing. One of the things that I have found out is there are no perimeter seals. You'll see that perimeter seal's gone. One on the left side, one on the right side, one on the back. So all that's doing is just recycling heat. That's bad enough. But look at this guy here. Look at that thing just crumbling. That is actually a fresh air hose. It helps kind of push air through the heating system. That's probably the original hose, I'm assuming. But if that's gone, and it is, then you've got a gaping hole right here. You got this big old gaping hole, and that's letting air out on the top side of the cylinder. So this thing would just sit there and run hot. Now, thankfully, it came from San Diego, where you don't have a lot of heat, not like Arizona. So I'm going to have to do something with the perimeter seals. Going to have to plug that hole. And basically, I'm going to start taking carbs off. You know, just take things apart. I need to take a compression test, pull the belt, pull the distributor, put an oil pressure gauge on there. So I'm going to take this to the next step, and we'll just see. Hopefully I bought a decent car that's got a decent engine in it, but we don't know. So we're going to find out. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, and let me see if I can get in there and show you what this wrench looks like. Okay, so this is a modified wrench. This is my tool that I use to remove fan belts. Works like a charm. Basically, I can get in there, clear the distributor. I can get in there, clear the distributor. So basically, that's just a wrench that's been bent back at a pretty severe angle. And that thing just works really sweet for getting belts off. So let's see if we can get this belt off of here and see what kind of shape it's got. Oh, it is stuck on that pulley. That is what a Corvair belt looks like. Let me make sure I got a good picture of that. Yeah, that's what a belt looks like. Now you can see where the pulley's been. That's where the rust is. Rust is there where the pulley was. So that's what they look like after about 14 years. Don't use those belts, not unless you're in the middle of the desert and you ain't got nothing else. So, I've got the fuel filler cap off, and I have loosened the inlet line. This is going back to the tank. I don't know what's here. I don't know if the rubber's bad or what, but this is actually drawing the gas. This is the big line, and I'm going to take some air. And I'm going to take some air, and I'm going to push that air real gently. And I hear, I'll be real quiet so you can hear that. Everybody hear that? That means that I've got air going back to the fuel tank. And so theoretically, I can draw gas from the fuel tank. Now, it may have nasty gas in it, and I can pull the majority of that gas out, through here, or actually siphon it out of the tank, see what color it is, see how nasty it is. But this is actually pretty big because I don't really want to crawl underneath the car. I don't want to get on my back if I don't have to. So this is actually pretty big. I'll let you guys hear that again. You can hear that. There's actually air being pushed back that way. So that's a good sign. Okay, well, I got the carbs off. Now what I do is I'll just take it off as an assembly. I really don't want to take individual carbs off or disconnect any of the fuel system. There's nothing but nasty gas in there. I think you can see some of that nasty gas coming out of that fuel pump. I try to get that out of my shop as soon as I can. I don't like bad gas. I don't want to be around it. This stuff's just nasty. And that fuel tank is full of it, I'm sure. So I don't know anything about these carbs, but I do know that I want this stinky set of carburetors out of my shop. I don't know what's in here. I'm assuming there's just a lot of varnish in the bottom of those carburetors. The guy just walked away from it. So anyway, I'm taking this off as an assembly. Seeing what I've got going here. These wires, they're probably still good. They're not hard as a rock. They're old, but they're not hard. Usually when they get hard, then they kind of start going bad. So next thing I'm going to want to do is I don't want to drop anything down inside the engine. So I got these plastic plugs that I use here. And I just want to get those guys on there. That way I don't drop any nuts, bolts, clips, anything, bugs can't get down there or whatever. So next step is I'm going to yank the distributor, going to yank the wires, and I'll put in the pressure switch or the pressure gauge, and then I'm going to actually spin the oil pump and see if I can get oil pressure and see how long that oil pressure takes to go down. That's white lithium grease, and I want to shoot each one of these cylinders with this grease, okay? And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't know how dry things are in there. It hasn't rotated in 14 years. Now there's probably a layer of oil still on the rings. I don't know. I just like to do it this way. It makes me sleep a little bit better at nighttime knowing I did it the right way. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to put some of this white lithium grease in each one of these holes. Okay, so I have put some of the lithium grease in all of the cylinders with the straw. So I got a little bit in there. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around and blow it around a little bit in each one of those holes. You can kind of tell when you get in there. I'm just going to go around and blow in a little bit of air. So I'm going to put this on the oil filter bolt. That's where this guy goes. So we'll get that put on there. I'm going to pull the distributor, get out my special tool, and we'll pressurize the system. Okay, next step is to take this is just a distributor shaft that all the gears and weights and everything have been removed from. But it does go down into the hole here. And so my intent, go clockwise because it won't do anything if you go counterclockwise. I want to see what kind of pressure I get here. And I just want to make sure that the system is pressurized before I start rotating, because I'm going to throw 120 volts to, or 12 volts to it. And I'm going to spin it because I'm going to start taking compression readings. So let's do that. And I'm getting about 40 pounds. And it's maxing out at about 40 pounds. And I can hear some air in there. You know, there's air in the system after all these years. So, but I know that I've got oil on all the journals. It does seem like it's taken a while for it to come back down, which is good, meaning that it's holding oil pressure. Looked like some fairly thick oil in there, so one more. And that's basically all I need to do. I just know that I've got oil on all of the crank and rod journals. As far as the cylinders are concerned, I'm basically got that lithium grease to keep things from scuffing. You know, if this is a good engine, I want to do everything I possibly can to try to keep what I've got. It has not rotated in 14 years. This is my official Montgomery Ward's, and you'll notice that it is master quality. It also says it was made in the United States. Isn't that nice? Chrome alloy. I've had this wrench for a long time. It's got a 3/4 on the end of it here, and that's what I'm interested in. So I am going to go on the crank bolt, and I am going back and forth. Just going to go back and forth. And it is rotating. I'm going to go back, go around, go back and forth, back and forth. One more. Go forward, back and forth, back and forth. I just want to make 2 complete revolutions. And everything feels pretty good. It was a little bit stiff when I first started. Back and forth, back and forth. And one more time around, back and forth. And I think that's pretty good. So next step is going to be put a battery in it, hook everything up, and actually rotate the engine with a compression tester on it. That's the next step. Okay, the next step is I want to spin this engine, but I don't want to have to go back to the switch every time I do it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass the ignition circuit. I'm going to bypass all of that. It's just basically your plain Jane starter switch. Nothing to write home about. Very basic. So I'm going to go from the purple wire right here to... I'm going to go from the purple wire, that's this guy right here. See if I can get him to go in there. Sometimes it cooperates. And I'm just going to hook that onto the positive side. Okay, I am ready to start spinning this motor. And I got my compression gauge here, made in the United States of America. I've had this thing for 40 years. J.C. Whitney. Some of you will remember J.C. Whitney. I'm going to hook this guy up. And we're going to see what this guy blows for compression. Here's my starter. Okay, here we go. Okay, maxes out at 135. Not the best, but it's doable. And I'll just switch a cylinder here real quick. Just thread those guys in there. So right now we got 135. See what this guy blows. I'd like to see 150, but you know, it is what it is. That one's 140. So that's okay. And we'll do this last cylinder on this side. Thread that guy in there. Come on, baby. Get in there. And alright. I probably could get a little bit better readings if I didn't have my caps on. But the main thing is I'm just checking for any drop valve seats. Whoa! That one wasn't on all the way. 140. So I'm getting compression readings about 140 on this side. Nothing to really write home about, but it's good enough for it to run. It's not like I'm getting 30. So I'm going to do the other side, and we will call it a day. Okay, so put in a pretty good day today. Got some stuff done. Found out that the engine's in pretty good shape as far as a compression standpoint is concerned. So basically what we did today is we verified we can get fuel from the gas tank to the fuel pump, back of the carbs, pulled off the carbs, verified that we got oil pressure, everything looked pretty good there. I don't think there's any spun bearings, anything like that. We misted or fogged the cylinders. I like to do that just as a precautionary, rotated the engine. And then I took a compression reading and I was getting about 140 on all six. There might have been one that was a little bit higher or lower, but no big differences. So I think the engine is definitely worth pursuing as far as making it run, putting some decent carburetors on it, kind of sprucing it up a little bit, maybe cleaning it up a little bit. But that'll have to be a project for another day. I'm kind of out of ambition for today. So I really would recommend that you give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. It encourages me. And I'd like you to subscribe to the channel. I got plenty of Corvair stuff that I can send your way. And as I always say, get out there and enjoy your Corvair. This is Mark. We'll see you on the next episode.